Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone had a great week, and I hope that you are having an even better weekend. I know we're all looking forward to autumn. I know I am, for the cool weather and also getting to see the leaves change color. Hopefully we'll get to do that. It's been so dry here and hot. We may not get that opportunity because it seems as though the leaves are just falling off the trees dead. Okay. But anyway, we're going to hope for the best. But, on a different note, we're going to get straight to today's show. And the title is They Not Like Us. And the topic is author differences. For authors of all genres, writing is our superpower. Although our ideologies, they may differ, but they also highlight those differences that also unifies us, right? So when exploring any literary genre, one quickly notices that while authors, they may unite under the same thematic umbrella, but their approach is to storytelling can vary, right? So even within those specific subgenres, no two authors are the same, right? Let's just go ahead and get that out. And just because two writers share a category of, fantasy or romance or thriller, all of these different types of writing styles and authors, it doesn't mean that they tell their stories in similar ways. Okay, so today's episode is about highlighting those author differences, but also how they unite us as writers. So, the idea is encapsulated by the phrase, they not like us. Writers bring their own backgrounds and influences and voices and techniques to their work, creating those unique reading experiences, even in the same genre. So let's explore how authors differ when writing in the same genre. Okay. So number one, voice and tone. Well, the signature sound of an author is the voice and tone, right? Whether they are speaking is how they are speaking. That that is your signature. That's how you know that particular author based on their voice and tone when they're writing. So one of the most significant differences between authors writing in the same genre, again, is their voice. Voice is an author's unique personality to their storytelling. So how they write sentences and structure thoughts and then express ideas, even in the same genre, authors' voices can be as different as night and day. And I know that you are familiar with it because everyone has their own personal favorites, okay? And those favorites are based on that voice and tone, what that author brings to the table in their signature sound, right? So now let's consider two authors in the same genre, and we'll just toss out mystery for instance. One might write with a gritty, hard-boiled tone, while another prefers a lighthearted, cozy mystery style, right? So, both of these authors, they can craft those narratives filled with that suspense and that intrigue, but how they convey the story, it shapes the reader's emotional experience. And that's what it's all about, okay? We want to give that reader the most amazing experience that they can have when reading those books. So now let's move on to number two, which is world building, depth versus detail. Okay, so in fantasy or science fiction genres, how an author builds their functional world, their fictional world, it plays a crucial role in the story. Even when two writers work within the same genre, their world building methods can, they can be vastly different. Okay, so some authors they love that intricate detail, right? They describe every corner of their universe with meticulous attention, and we can appreciate that, right? And others they rely on that minimalistic world building. Which leaves much to the reader's imagination. And sometimes we like that avenue as well. The approach they choose, it changes how immersive or interpretive the story feels, right? All right, so number 3 is pacing and plot structure. So basically fast versus slow burns, all right? So we see that a lot in books. If you're like me, I like fast paced, especially if it is suspense or thriller. I want that fast pace, right? And then while, others, they may prefer the slow burn. They like that slow build. They want the entire backstory before they actually get to what's going on. And, and that's okay too. All right. But authors in the same genre, they can differ significantly in how they structured their plots and then the pace at which they reveal those crucial story elements, right? So some may prefer, like me, the fast pace, the action-driven approach, while others take their time, allowing the story to unfold gradually, with more emphasis on that character development and then the setting. For instance, one author might lean toward edge of your seat, breakneck speed storytelling in the thriller genre. That is so me. And at the same time, another prefers a slow burn narrative where tension builds over time, keeping those readers guessing until the very end. And that's okay too. I like that as well. All right. So I like a mixture of both, because to me that sort of balances it out. All right, so number 4 is characterization, archetypes versus unique personalities. All right, so another way authors can diverge in the same genre is through their approach to characters, because some authors, they create characters that fit into a familiar archetype, like the hero, the mentor, the trickster, while others, they subvert those tropes, or they create those complex characters that defy those easy characterizations. Okay, they want to make those characters more complex and not so easily pointed out or distinctive. All right, for example, one romance author might stick to the traditional will they or won't they trope, but at the same time, another might introduce characters that are more flawed, unpredictable, or atypical for the genre. Okay, so now let's move on to number 5, themes and motifs. Basically, broad versus specific. Okay, so authors can explore wildly different themes within the same genre, and one fantasy author might focus on themes of power and corruption, while another emphasizes loyalty and friendship. Similarly, recurring motifs, symbols, or metaphors that vary among the authors, enriching their stories with those distinct layers of meaning. And that is perfectly fine. Okay. So, so basically what we've covered, in They Not Like Us, I am a Kendrick Lamar fan. And so I thought that it would be cool today to explore the topic of author differences, using his ideology just a little bit. Okay. So I borrowed from that. Because not all authors, are like, they may write in the same genre, or they might write different genres, okay? But each one of those specific writing styles is based on those authors and their ideology and how they get the job done, basically, okay? So, and how they do it is through, those signature features of every author, that voice and that tone, the world building, the depth and the detail, the pacing, and then the plot structure, that fast and slow burn, and then the characterization, those archetypes versus those unique personalities, and then those themes and motifs, broad versus specific. So each and every author has something different to bring to the table, and just like I said, for all of the authors and for all of the genres that they write in, it is our superpower. We all bring something different when we tell stories, and that is a great thing. You can have authors that write in the same genre, but they are just so vastly different, and that's what we want to see. We want to see every author bringing something different to the table, showing their diversity, showing their techniques, showing their ideas, what they are, and how unique they are, how they show their unique aspects of their writing superpower. I love seeing that. I am a romance writer. I don't read as much romance as I used to, but I love reading thriller and suspense novels. And I have so many different favorite ones. And it is truly based on how they tell the story, how they write, the voices that they write in, their voice and their tone, all of those features, all of those different features, makes me a fan of thrillers, and not just one specific, but many, many, many different ones across the board. They all something bring unique to the table, and I love that. I love variety. I think variety in writing is something that is, it is something that is very special. It is so special. And, and that's why I want to talk about this today on today's episode, because, although you may write in the same genre if you're a writer, but the main thing to point out is how, you may differ in your writing styles, but still, it unifies those writers across the board, because they all have those different superpowers. If you will, just imagine, all of the superheroes from the books or the movies that you've seen, and you see how, they all are unique individually, but together they bring, that unity. They unify and come together to tell the story, and that's what we want to see. That's what we love about, they not like us, okay? It's not to say that we're better, better than any other author or writer in the game, but it just shows our differences, how unique we are in the differences, but we all display that talent, that superpower. All right, so to sum it all up, again, they not like us. Those genres provide the framework for stories, but authors' styles and their techniques, again, are deeply personal, from pacing and tone to world building and character development. No two writers are exactly alike, even if they share a bookshelf, okay? So the diversity in those authorial voices within a genre, it keeps those readers coming back for more. It makes reading an endless exploration and those new perspectives and styles. So while two authors might write in the same genre, they honestly are not like us, okay? So each brings something unique to the table. And that is our show for today. I hope that that you will continue to listen, like, and share. And remember that tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say it. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you. And goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.